I don't want to call you. Okay. Well, listen, welcome back. I appreciate you spending this time with me again this week. It has
Yes,
been a very interesting week for me. What about you?
absolutely. Oh, yeah. It's been a very interesting week for me as well, because I did have some travel things going on. So
Right.
that kind of just went, okay, here we go.
I
But
got
I'm happy to hear you set up for this evening and glad to be back and talking with you. And hopefully you got a lot of listeners that will
that.
tap in
Thanks.
that out there.
Absolutely. I absolutely will. I had some good news this week too. A lady contacted me and said that she watched one of my podcast episodes and
Yeah.
she really enjoyed it. And she wants to she's a virtual assistant and she wants to use my system as a like a model so that as she grows her company, she can use my system as a reference as she grew. I was like, wow, that's God right there, isn't it?
Wow.
I know
Well,
God when I hear it, right?
yes.
So,
And you always say it. I've checked out your videos, of course, even, prior to us just, really getting together and connecting.
mhm,
And I remember you said on a few of them, you just never know who's out there, who's listening, who can see your work, your talent, and everything.
absolutely.
That's excellent. You just have to keep moving forward. There's going to be somebody that will tap into your talent. Yes.
Sooner or later, absolutely. Well, listen, again, I appreciate you stopping by, but I want you to introduce yourself to my audience because this one is going to be a good video. We're going to do this one right the first time. And what we're going to do it is we're going to talk for a few minutes and I'm going to ask you some interview questions that I have for other people that I'll be bringing in who don't actually have a system. And then I'll let you kind of get a feel of how that, what those are and get your take on some of those. Okay.
Excellent. Yes.
Great. Great. Okay. So your name is.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you again for the invite. I really appreciate it. I know you have an awesome podcast and tons of experience. So where the best talent is, that's where I'd like to go and connect to. So
Got
again, kudos and applaud to you and your journey. And again, my name is Toye Johnson Vincent. I am a motivational speaker, certified life coach with a solid background in human resources talent acquisition, which is a fancy schmancy title for corporate recruiting, if you will.
Got
And my focus is to help you navigate your career and or your life journey. So most of my topics are centered around career as well as your life journey when things kind of go awry.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, well, listen, the first question I would like to ask you is for 2020, do you have any idea about creating any products? Has that crossed your mind yet?
Well, interesting because again, we are in 2020, and I'd like to move my career journey forward as well. And that's something that I am considering.
Hmm.
We used to think about people say CDs, everything changes, technology, whatever you need to do to get it out there for people to see, again, really come back to your talent and be able to offer people solutions. So yes, I do have a few irons in the fire, if you will, that I am thinking about, to get more information out to viewers and hopefully potential clients. And
Great,
that's really where I'm at this point.
great, great. That's outstanding. Because one of the things that I do is like when you go to an event and you got only, let's say you only have like 50 people in the audience, you can still
Yes,
record that little event and that can
yes,
become a product. You can. It's so many ways to make money in this 21st century online business world. Because it's informational. So if your information brings value or enlightens and educates, whoever the listener or the viewer is, then they would be willing to invest their money into that. And then tell someone else about it, right?
absolutely. Because that's one of the things too you mentioned. Video, as you know, just basically even what we're doing now in terms of the way people communicate and host meetings and events, there are a lot of online webinars. So yes, that would be a really key way to keep your system, as you call it, and I call it a process, to keep it moving from a marketing standpoint, promotional standpoint, we're always doing it. I mean, if you just look behind me, you probably can see my display.
I do.
I don't go anywhere without it. It's kind of like the old credit card, you know, don't leave home without it. Well,
Exactly.
you know, we used to carry a lot of business cards, and then I found that, you know, people will take your business card and you're at a networking event, but, you know, let's face it, those business cards become multiple and they, you know, hundreds. And now the people just walking around, and perhaps sometimes they wind up going, we don't like to say this, but they may wind up in the trash. So
Right.
with the video now, if you can market and promote your, you know, your business background and what your talent is, that's the way to go. And the good news, one last thing on that, a lot of this is free. I mean, it's free advertising.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I love about it. And that's why I believe that people believe that it's harder than it actually is to get started, you know, because
Yes.
it's really, really simple to get started. It's just that you have to become consistent with it. You know, starting is really not the hard part, although that's like one of the obstacles that a lot of people have a problem with, they say. But it's really not starting, because you can do one or 2 days, but it's the continuation is where the success comes in and the knowledge comes in, right?
Absolutely. As soon as you said continue, because one of the things, including myself as a speaker or coach, you know, you can get sort of sidetracked from time to time, and then you say, uh-oh, wait a minute, hold on, I need to continue doing what I started. That's my model all of the time and throughout my life, at least, especially now as I age. I think about it all the time. Finish what you started, because many of us have so many great ideas, but they don't execute them. And by the time they think about executing them, and then they say, wait a minute, I need help. And that's the other thing, we don't ask for help.
Right.
And so if you connect with people like yourself, you know, are really great with podcasts and everything. And I've never done a podcast. So I would reach out and say, hey, Larry, could you help me with podcasting, perhaps? You know, you have to find out what other people's strengths are and then go forward with your plan. And that is the key. And be continuous and be intentional about really solidifying your plans and execute them as well. Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get into this questionnaire really quickly, because like I said, I did a research over 800 questions, and I came up with like 100 that I have. So I'm just going to ask about 20, 25. They go really quickly, but I just want to get your take on, you know, what they were like. Okay, so the first one says, what was your favorite subject in school?
Okay. Now, well, depending on which age time I was in. Well, let's just put it this way. Never really cared for math, but now I understand why it's so important. Okay. That's number one. So I would probably say English.
English. Okay. Number two, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Exactly what I am right now. Aside from hosting a talk show or radio show, definitely a line of speaking. Yes.
Gotcha. Number three, do you hold grudges?
Really? Can we skip? You know, Larry, I loved your show until you got to that question. Well, I can tell you that I have held grudges, but I find out now I understand, as mature as I am, that that's not a good thing, and it doesn't help anyone. So free yourself, people.
There you go. Number four, do you believe in aliens?
Well, no, I don't, because I've never really, as far as I know, I haven't seen any, so I guess I just don't believe. But let me piggyback on, you know, if they're out there, I hope they're friendly.
Okay, number five, do you prefer dogs, cats, or neither?
I am not an animal lover. I do not have pets. I have grown up with them, but my preferences would definitely be a dog.
Okay. Number six, if you could change anything about yourself, what would it be?
Well, I would probably change, what would I change without myself? Oh, let me see about that. Wow, we need to piggyback on that one. I would probably change the fact that I need to just gain more traction and get more time to do what I want to do. That's what I would change. Because right now it just seems like just not enough time, or at least I have not dedicated enough time to my craft as I should. So I need to change that. 2020.
Okay, number 7. If you were a superhero, what powers would you have?
Well, the powers would be to learn to know every part of technology, to really stay on top of that. Absolutely. It would be technology driven.
Good, good one. Number 8. What was your least favorite subject in school? Which you already said was math, right?
Math, yes, math.
Okay.
Yes.
Number 9. Do you have a lucky number? And if so, what is it?
Well, let's face it, if it's my lucky number, I wouldn't share it anyway. But yes, I do have a lucky number.
Okay, okay. Well, number 10, on a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you?
Well, as of today, I'm very happy. A lot of good things have happened since 2020 began, and that's good enough for me.
Great, great. So you see kind of how that works, right? So
Yes.
if you didn't like have your own business already and you were just like thinking about doing something different and you wanted to kind of, start something, but you really didn't know what you wanted to start, which I'm pretty good at helping people get past that stage right there. Because if you don't really know what you want to start, you just should start acquiring some skills, you see.
Yes.
And then it takes time to perfect those skills. And then as you're perfecting those skills, your mind will start to click on what area you should be actually, spending the majority of your time in. Because if it's passion driven, then it's going to be, the results are going to be really rewarding to you, even though it may not be money initially, right?
That is absolutely correct. Because oftentimes as a speaker, and people say, well, yes, there are $10,000 fee and speakers and everything that's out there making that type of money. And I would be one that is an aspiring person. So if you're out there, anybody out there that has an event and you're certainly be able to clear 10,000, that would be fantastic. But in the meantime, I understand that a lot of times speakers, we speak to gain exposure, or that's what is offered. Not that we do it, but that's what's offered. So so people sometimes don't understand how that speaking business really does work.
Right. It's actually a great revenue stream. I find it to be very, very beneficial if that's one of the streams you want to focus on. And when you're coming into the internet online business, that should be one of the streams you want to focus on, because as you create more content, more people will see it. And as your system grows, people will want you to come and share with their audience what it is that you do or how you do what you do, right? So that's another reason it's necessary that it's in line with what you like. Because if it's just like me, I don't like doing automotive type work. So if I have to learn something about cars, I don't really want to do that. So I won't be happy doing that because I don't like to get my hands dirty. All that kind of stuff.
You don't mind paying someone to do it.
No,
so
I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that happily, but I don't want to do it because I don't want to learn all that, But if I was, some men that are really, they love that kind of stuff.
Yes,
they love it, and I believe that they're more hands-on. They wouldn't do well with internet businesses because they gotta have to, they need the brick and mortar location so that they can you can actually bring your vehicle to them, right?
Absolutely. And one of the things you said too, we're all different. We have a unique talent. And one of the things, the most feared professions is the fear of speaking, public speaking. Absolutely. And it's what I do, it's what I've been doing, and it's always been a part of my HR background, which is why I wanted to delve more into training and speaking, and I majored in speech communication. So the bottom line is, after all of these years, finally I'm utilizing that degree of speech communication.
Right. You probably pretty close to the perfection point right now, right?
Yes, I believe so. Now, I strive to be perfect. And again, I understand the word perfect means that different things to different people. So what I say is I try to be the best that I can be at all times, whether I'm on the stage, in a classroom, conference, etc., utilizing my talent. And I know there are different ways to share, my speaking talent. So that's what I strive to do, just be as near perfect. You're not always perfect.
Right, because a lot of people that I talk to, a lot of clients that I have, they tell me, well, I know for certain that if the opportunity presented itself to them where they were able to say, get $5,000 for a speaking engagement, they would turn it down because of that fear you're talking about, right? And that's a lot of
Here.
money, but they would
That's,
still say, no, not me.
mm.
You know
Well, guess
anybody
what?
like that?
If you're out there, for those of us listening under the sound of our voices tonight, if there's a $5,000 speaking engagement, you definitely want to contact me, or please go ahead and share your information with Larry. I will be certainly following up.
There you go. There you go. Absolutely. Okay, I want to cover a few more of these questions, and then we're going to, because it's getting close to that 20 minute mark.
Okay.
Number 11, what would be your dream car?
Oh, my dream car. Well, interesting. Right now, I want a brand new car,
Okay.
and I really like this new Telluride. That's what it's called.
It's an SUV?
It may not be my dream car. It's just the car I want now, and I love the Range Rover. So I'm going with my Range Rover first. My second vehicle would be the Telluride, can sit in my garage anytime I feel like jumping in.
I see. Okay, number 12, do you collect anything, and if so, what?
Yes, I do collect things. I collect a lot of knowledge from other people who are better than me.
Okay. Number 13, which of the 5 senses would you say is your strongest?
My keen sense of awareness, if that is one of the 5 senses. I understand that smell. Yeah, I know, Larry, you would get me on that one. But my sense, just really being able to see and see clearly.
That's one.
With my eyes, with my knowledge, you name it, put the 2 together. I see things sometimes ahead of whatever's coming out there. I can almost just see it coming or feel it. Put it that way.
There you go. Yeah, okay, number 14, if you were famous, would you want a statue or a building named after you?
I would probably say a building, and especially if that building would go right back to the neighborhood that I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, Crown Heights, Brooklyn, for those of us out there. Hashtag Brooklyn.
Building. Okay, number 15, on a scale from 1 to 10, how funny would you say you are?
10 plus. My mother and my father were both comedians. So we're along the line.
So it's in the DNA.
A native New Yorker and not be funny. I mean,
So it's in the DNA, right?
Yes.
Okay, number 16, if you could talk to one species of animal, which would it be?
If I could talk to one
species of animal, which would it be?
Okay. Well, probably the elephant. They're always thinking.
Okay, and they remember a lot, right?
Yes, remember. And memory is really key, especially as a speaker when you're on stage.
Absolutely. The next question, would you consider yourself a procrastinator?
I have been, but no, not anymore.
You're getting better, huh?
Yes.
Okay, the next question, what habit are you most proud of that you gave up?
Wow. Well, what happened? I would probably say worrying about what other people think.
Okay. So you used to
just do what you need to do. Don't worry about it. Even if it's not the best decision, at least you're doing it for you, not for someone else.
There you go. Okay. And the final question is, what room in your house best reflects your personality?
Well, I would probably say more of my office space, because everything, I surround myself with positive affirmations. Yes.
Great. So if this was your first interview and you were kind of like new to this whole system, you weren't a speaker, you don't have any products, you just and regular employee, would those questions kind of be like an eye-opener for you? Because I wanted to kind of reach within you, because I don't know you, but you know you. So when I ask those questions, it calls you to ask yourself, and it calls you to be truthful to you. Even though you might not tell me the truth, you will be truthful to yourself, right?
Yes, because being true to YOU, capital YOU, is key. You need to know yourself, and in coaching, as I am a certified life coach, who you are, where you're going, and how you're going to get there. That's very important. But first, know who you are as it relates to identity. Yeah.
And then what's your take on self-esteem? Because a lot of people seem to have low self-esteem.
Yeah, and low self-esteem. I mean, I have to go. If I went back to my youth, I probably had the same thing going on. But I understand how that works, and you just have to dig deeper. Surround yourself with people who are doing awesome and positive things. You know, really getting that energy out there and sort of feed off of that. Don't have that low self-esteem because you're better than who you think you are. And people don't understand that. And they go with the notion of, well, I don't know enough. I'm not educated enough. I don't have enough experience in an area. Well, you know, how do you get the experience? You just have to go little by little in terms of networking or getting out there at events. Same thing. People say, I don't want to go out there into a crowd of people that I don't know to hand a business card to a stranger. Well, no one will know you if you're just at home sitting behind the computer. You have to get out at some point.
That's right. And I like to say too that a lot of people, I like to give this analogy. You can imagine what I call it is getting in the game of life, right? Because a lot of people, you can imagine you sitting on the sideline of your life, watching your life go by. You know, just as if you're at a football game, and
Yeah.
the only way you can get in the game is to get in the game. You have to get ready. That means prepare yourself, gain some knowledge, identify what position you want to play and how you want to do what you do, and get in the game. Because if you don't, you're just going to be sitting on the sideline watching your life go by, because time continues on, right? It doesn't stop for nobody. So if you wait too long, 10 years have gone by and you ask yourself, wow, I wait. Because I know me, I'm 62 right now, and I look at my life and I say to myself, wow, if I had known this 20 years ago, you know, but this didn't exist 20 years ago. You know, so I'm really way ahead of the normal person. But you know, the millennials, they kind of catch on to this kind of stuff really quickly. Like it's like built in to them. So I'm not competing with them, but what I am doing is I'm taking my cues from what they do, right? Because I see people with like millions of views on YouTube and different videos, and I'm thinking, wow, that's possible. You know, that's very possible. You just got to keep doing it. But one of the things I like to share too is you don't have to be on that level. You can be on the level like you make, like if you're just making let's say $100,000 a year in your own business, that's a good living.
That's very good living. Yes, it is. That's right. And stop comparing what people need to do, and in terms of coaching, stop comparing yourself to the other person that, especially on social media, because if you're trying to live up to someone else's profile, let me tell you, it will never work.
That's right.
And it will make you feel like you're inadequate. And so that's not the feeling for people who really want to get ahead in life and be successful. So just be you. People will like you or love you just for you and your talent. What can you bring to the table? That's what it is. So, especially in 2020.
Great. Okay, well, listen, it's been a pleasure talking with you. I hope you've enjoyed this little session as well. And within the next 6 months or so, I'm going to master this. You can rest assured that I will master this. I'll have people coming in left and right. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the process because it's not really that time consuming. I can fit a 30-minute window in there and then I'm finished, you know, and I got another thing for people to watch, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I get to market who you are and what you do to my audience as well. So they get to introduce them and be introduced to you. So before you leave, would you leave your contact information so that they can contact you?
Absolutely, yes. And again, I'm Toye, T-O-Y-E, not Toya. Some people think that's maybe what I said, but Toye Johnson Vincent. The last name is hyphenated. You can find me and connect with me on all forms of social media, including LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. I have tons of YouTube videos out there. So please go on and check those out right under my name. I have Toye's Career Corner out there that may help somebody who's listening in terms of career development, as well as Facebook. Yes, I have a Facebook page. So make sure you try to connect with me. And yes, I am willing to talk to people. I have a 30-minute complimentary coaching call. That's what I call it. So if you go through my website, and here it is, www.tjv empowersyou.com. www.tjvu.com. One more time, www.tjvu.com. Look forward to hearing from your listeners.
Okay, great. Okay, I sure appreciate your time, Toye. And
Thank
when I get ready to create a podcast, I do a podcast once a week. And at the end of each podcast, I always say, my name is Larry James. My company is Speak with Larry. And as always, share with someone else what I've shared with you. And then I'm signing off with that. Okay? And
Thank
I'll
you,
see you
Larry.
later. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.